Hey Sugar Snaps, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome in. I am a basket weaver, a natural dyer, and I do lots of other fiber arts, and I share tutorials and things here on YouTube about those topics. Today I want to talk about how to remove mold from your hand woven baskets or any basket that you have that you're having problems with it mildewing or molding. This basket, I'll show you up close, has a fine layer of mold on it. This was hanging up on my mom's front door with a flower arrangement in it, and the weather where we live is very humid and cold, and so it just ended up mildewing because I didn't stain or seal this basket. So if you've done any basket weaving with me, done any of my tutorials, you'll know that at the end of my videos I usually suggest finishing off your basket by allowing it to dry for up to 24 hours, usually a little bit longer so that all the layers can completely dry. And then doing a coat of sealer or basket stain, something to protect it from grease, dirt, the weather, humidity, protect it from mold and mildew. One of my favorite ways to do that is using a weaver stain. I got this from basketmakercatalog.com. I'll put the link in the description below and here on the screen to find this. This is a Danish oil finish. It's clear so that it just covers the natural color of the reed. So if you want a darker color, you would dye it first and then seal it with this. And this protects it from grease and mildew and mold. So I'm going to show you how to clean your baskets if they do get moldy. And we're going to do that with a scrub brush, some soap, and water. It's pretty simple. We're just going to scrub it away, scrub the mold away, and then allow it to dry, and then do a coat of sealer after it's completely dry. So that will take about 2 days, a day, probably just a day for this small basket. Larger baskets take longer to dry because they're thicker and just have more moisture absorbed into all of the reed. So let's get started with cleaning this. I suggest wearing a face mask and rubber dishwashing gloves so you're not breathing in the mold spores as the heat kind of wakes them up. They can end up in the air, and you don't want to breathe that. You don't want that in your lungs, and you don't want it on your skin. So wear rubber gloves. I think that's all I have to say about that. So let's get started cleaning this with our scrub brush and soap, and yeah, then we'll come back and do the staining, or actually sealing. I'm just going to seal this. Oops. Keep the natural color by sealing it with a clear finish. Once your basket has fully dried, you can do the sealing process. To do this, I usually work outside because being able to be in a well-ventilated area is really important. So lay out a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper under your basket. Place the basket on top, and then shake your can of sealer. I'm using weaver stain. You can find that in the description below. And then you're going to hold the can about 6 inches away from the basket, and in short bursts, spray the surface of the basket. You can go around the outside, the edges, make sure you catch the rim and the seagrass and the handle if there is one. do one side and then flip it over, or you can do both sides in one go like I'm doing here. And make sure to catch the inside of the basket as well, because it can mold or get mildewed just as much as the outside can. Now follow the manufacturer's instructions to allow your basket to dry, the sealer to dry, and you'll probably want at least a second coat, if not a third coat as well. Here is the fully sealed basket. This I did 2 coats on, so I did a coat, allowed it to dry for 15 minutes, and then applied a second coat, and that seems to have applied to the surface and gotten into all the nooks and crannies well, so I stuck with 2 coats. Made sure to do the inside of the basket to avoid any mildew or mold in there as well. The color of this basket is similar to what the basket reed looks like when it's wet. This is a clear natural finish, and it's clear, so it's not going to change the color a whole lot, but because it is a sealer or a stain, it does make it look slightly damp, which changes the color slightly to more of a yellowy than a tan. There are lots of wood stains and sealers that you can use on your basket if you would like. There's also basket specific stains like this Weaver stain, which are a little bit higher quality for baskets. They don't make them as crunchy as wood stain does. Wood stain's meant to sit on a surface that absorbs the stain, whereas the reed doesn't quite absorb it the same way as wood grain would. So that's a quick overview on how to clean your baskets, whether you make your own baskets or you have a purchased basket that somehow got mildew or moldy or greasy and dirty. If you use your baskets in the garden, they will most likely get dirty, and you can do the same process with soap and water to scrub them and clean them, and maybe refresh them with a new coat of sealer every once in a while. Once you've woven a basket, it's not a forever finished thing. You can always add a new stain or sealer. You can repair it, fix it up. Baskets get better with age. They gain more character as they're used and worn. And as time goes on, the color of the reed shifts slightly to more of a deeper brown color than the natural tan that you get the reed in initially. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to check out the resources below. I have a link to my resource page on my website, textilend.com, and it will have all kinds of info on different types of stains and sealers, things you can use on your basket. Yeah, and I have a blog post on how to protect your basket from mold and mildew, so I'll link that in the description below as well. Thanks so much for watching and supporting my channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Happy basket weaving, staining, sealing, whatever it is you're doing. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.